Today we are going to talk about air. Air as opposed to breathing. They're correlated, but they're not the same. I was watching this Aiden Ritchie video a couple while ago about him and his experience with air. I was just like, he talks a lot about the engagement of the core by doing this like little exercise that he had gotten from someone else, and I was thinking about it for a while. I was just like, I don't really think about that when I play. I used to, but then it's just like I didn't really think about it for a while because I had other issues with my trombone playing. And I was like, and I had gone to a very big sort of slump in my high range, and I was just like, well, let me try that. So I'm not going to do the same exercise he did, but I did that day one, like whenever I saw that video, an instant improvement. I was just like, oh wow, that's just amazing. And it's not because you're engaging your core, doing anything special. I mean, that's part of it, but it's because you're allowing your air to truly focus and do the work. I feel like a lot of the times we're sort of passive about our air. Kind of like, when you're talking, you don't really think about how you're going to talk. You just kind of like let the words come out of your mouth. You don't really think, oh, well, I need to use this amount of air to get this word out. No, that's not really a thing. And similarly, in the high range, you don't really, a lot of the times, I feel like trombone players don't really think, I need to use this certain amount of air to play the note. They just think they can muscle their way through it because a lot of the times you can. And it's just like, oh, okay, you get through it by muscling your way through it. And why is using the proper air important? Well, because it helps you get your best sound all the time. You always hear those things like air, 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 air. Like a lot of teachers, band directors, they're like more air, more air, more air. Yes, to an extent. Yes, more air can solve a lot of issues, but if you have a lot of air with no focus, like it just goes all over the place. If I do that on the horn, sounds like sounds terrible. But if I use the same amount of air but more focus, the sound resonates properly. And of course, that's also a combination of just all the other practicing and all the other things I do. But being able to know what to engage, when to engage it, how to not over engage, meaning like how you muscle when you try to play high. You can't really just rely on the air. You also have to rely on your face and your audiation skills, your ability to hear the note, to be able to play up high, but also down low. It just applies more up high, but down low, if you just do a pedal C with no engagement, sounds like crap. You do the same volume, but engage. Still having some trouble with the response, but instantly you hear better core, better quality of sound. I didn't do anything different. I just engaged my stomach and engaged my air the proper way. I agree with a lot of teachers that air most of the time is the solution. I'd say about 70% of the time, but the lacking variable is the proper engagement of air. And that's really what the main focus of this video is, talking about proper engagement of air. Um, so I'm just going to go through a couple exercises that I have found to work best for me and just some other exercises I've picked up. The one I saw in Aiden's video, the doing that a couple times is always worked for me. And it's one of those quick fixes. It's like if you're not in the habit of engaging your air the proper way, then that's something you can try. Um, a big thing that we should also be aware of before we even do any of these exercises is like your own physical health. You should stretch, like, especially as you get older, you should stretch before you play because it helps your body get going. It's kind of just like stretching is like doing long tones, but for your body. Long tones are important. So I'm doing breathing, just normal breathing, just whatever breathing exercises you guys like to do. It's important to actually get your air moving because playing the instrument takes significantly more air than talking. A lot of the times we don't really make that correlation and we just get straight into playing. So yeah, stretching and breathing before you even touch the instrument, very, very important. Um, Outside of the exercise I just showed you, there's the paper exercise. Let me grab this sheet of paper that you guys can do. I don't remember where I got this, but pretty popular exercise. Just grab a sheet of paper and you just want to try to make it move and hear the crinkle. I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but you want to hear the crinkle of the paper as you blow into it, because you can blow it, but without the crinkle, you're not engaging your air properly. And you can even do that with less air, like lesser velocity or lesser amount of air, which to help you with playing softer and playing louder. That's just incorporating whatever exercise works for you. If you're not in the habit of engaging your air, can be really important in the development of your trombone playing. Um, then there's just like what I did at the beginning of the video, playing down the octave, but actually with core. I feel like to play down the octave poorly takes more effort than playing it the right way in terms of what your body should be doing. I feel like that's easier to do than so just doing like a roshu. And it's really important to do like these phrases as long as you can. I feel like a lot of people just sort of take breaths as they feel like they need to, but a lot of the times as trombone players, we can extend these phrases way more than we think we can. So just do like a roshu down 2 octaves. Playing it down 2 octaves really helps you keep your air engaged, especially near the end of those phrases when you really feel like you're running out of air. If you can really keep the sound, then that's really, really crucial to your ability to use your air properly as a trombone player. Because then you go back up the octave. Instantly smoother than what I had done already today. That's just one little exercise, just playing it down 2 octaves. Um, you guys all know the glissing thing. You can always just gliss. Glissing with the slow slide for me intentionally just to make sure I'm using my air properly. Fluttering. But I would even take it a step further and flutter down 2 octaves. Really get that air going because it takes a lot of air to keep that flutter going down 2 octaves. And just remembering that your air is relaxed, similarly to how it is when you talk. You're not talking like you're running out of breath all the time. You just don't do that. You talk pretty fluidly and pretty consistently, just like a singer sings pretty consistently. So you want to play in a similar manner, but with a different approach, because, like I said, this, and particularly the trombone, takes more air than most people expect, and I feel like most people just undersupply the instrument. And if they are supplying the right way, they're not engaging. That's why they get like a spread sound, or they're not in tune. It's just lack of proper engagement, or even for the high range, not being able to hit the high range consistently, or not being able to hit it at all at times. It's just all about consistency of your air and being able to know what it feels like for it to be consistent.